EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. It's opening round coverage of the United States Open Championship. Today we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington for the U.S. Open Championship. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about this unusual layout?
It's actually the first golf course that Robert Trent Jones II has actually designed in Washington. And it just fits in beautifully with the environment. The Puget Sound really sets off the whole golf course. So it looks like a links golf course, but it can play in so many different ways. You can play it through the air, you can play it along the ground. And of course already it's hosted US Amateur and US Open.
That is just a beautiful shot. All right, Frank, how would you break down this approach shot here at the first at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf course. So maybe even just have a little look and make sure you know that line, because once that ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it in a certain direction. So really fixate on that line.
What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. These putts keep the round together.
You're just moving that much closer to the leader now, Rich.
Second hole now here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Frank, it's a relatively short par 4.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards. Avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short iron in, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Frank, what do you think about this approach shot here at the second at Chambers Bay?
If you've driven it down the right side, you have a much better view of this green, better access to the flag when it's on the back left. You really want to just avoid that little bunker that cuts in on the right side, and there's a little sort of gut on that left side of the green, where that sort of collects the ball.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So on the putting surface and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Now has a tie for the lead with that birdie.
And a pep in the stride.
Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical.
Pretty good shot right there, about 10 feet away, setting up the putt for birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So close, just a tap in from there. He needs this for par. No damage done, made the par. Frank, the fourth hole here at Chambers Bay is the kind of par 4 that says, emphatically, U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's not a rarity these days to have par 4s that are around 500 yards. This is just slightly shy of that. Once again, it's a stiff tee shot. Avoid trouble left and right. A little bit of a bend to the right on this hole, but don't be fooled by that. If anything, the drive has to be hit down the left side. Oh, I liked that.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, when I think about the U.S. Open, I think about Justin Rose at Merion in 2013. He hit a nearly perfect drive right down the middle, right next to that famous Hogan plaque, Hogan winning there in 1950. And then he hits that second shot, the 4-iron, and it appears to be perfect. But U.S. Opens aren't always fair, are they? And then from that point, he took what appeared to be a bad break, and he still went forward for the win.
I think it's a great example, Rich, that you just brought up. I mean, there's an example of two of the best shots hit in U.S. Open pressure, and yet they're not rewarded with a birdie putt. And I think that's what defines the toughest championship that there is in golf.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right.
It's no snack, though.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Settles in over the putt. Now at 1 under for the round. Now the fifth hole here at the U.S. Open, and Frank, quite a dramatic tee shot.
Everything's really in front of you. You can see it from the elevated tee, bunkers left and right. That's not really the problem. One of the problems is that bunker just short, smack bang in the middle of this green. So the chances of flying that bunker and stopping on this green down breeze are probably next to none. So you're going to have to go in right or left of that bunker.
Not what he wanted, but he's headed to the beach. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Missed the fairway in the fairway bunker now.
It's not all gloom and doom, though. Lip isn't too high. A good swing here still shouldn't be a problem.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a long birdie putt here. Requires good judgment of the speed and the line. Just try to lag it down there. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. And with that, 1 under par. Checking in on the action now. Let's go down to the 6th. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Yeah, a little unlucky there.
Lining this one up for par.
No mistake made there with par.
Well, Frank, what a stretch of tough par fours here at Chambers Bay. Now to the 7th. Long uphill par 4 and a lot of trouble to the right.
Yeah, and it's all sand, that's for sure. If you miss the field on the left, then it's all dunes, so take your pick, really. But ideally, that green piece that the superintendent often mows each and every day, that's the place to go. And for a U.S. Open at 508 yards, if you miss that little green strip, then this hole will be hazardous because it's going to play a lot longer than that uphill. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Now the approach shot here at the 7th, Frank, and this one is up the hill.
It is, and the green is sort of split into thirds. There's a little piece back left, there's a piece back right, and that bigger portion in the front. So once again, you got to choose what shot am I trying to hit, and do I have the right club?
Third shot, looking for a good one. So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Drop shot and a dropped position on the leaderboard.
Well, this game's never about being perfect. It's about being resilient.
Now to the second par 5 of the round here at Chambers Bay and the U.S. Open. It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a beast. You miss this field, you could be hitting all day long, and And, of course, that's going to rack up a fairly healthy score. Meanwhile, hit the fairway there. Only the longest hitters will reach this par 5 and 2. But still a good chance, even with a wedge, to make a birdie because the green slopes back to the player.
Oh, he loves that one. You can see it. This one is high, it is deep, and it is gone. And from the fairway for his second shot here. We just saw a player in total control of what he's doing. Didn't miss a green in regulation all day long. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part.
Inexcusable. Even par currently.
That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Rich Lerner and Frank Nobilo back with you here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Now to the ninth hole, closing out this front side.
Well, it just goes to show the tremendous variety that the designer, Robert Trent Jones, II, has done here. We've seen already a tremendous variation, and then this sort of just goes on top of it. Elevated tee, goes down to a green that just slopes a little bit to the right, well bunkered on the right. Should be safely on deck.
Frank landed it on the green.
It was never going to stop.
No chance. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Pretty good shot right there. Shouldn't be a problem here. Oh, I thought he had that.
Whoa, that was unexplainable. I thought that was easily going to be a par.
Now I'll have to focus, try to make bogey. Locked in on the read and the speed.
Rich, you got to tell me what happened. I covered my eyes on that one.
Another bogey. What else? Moving on to the back nine here at Chambers Bay in the state of Washington. I'm Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, what's the 10th hole all about?
Dunes left and right, hence the name High Dunes. Obviously split the fairway there. But one of the factors of true links golf is you normally get to putt in the calm. The dunes protect this green from all the wind, so a relatively flat putting surface.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Frank, it appears as though this approach shot here at the 10th is fairly straightforward.
It is. You've got a flat green, so you're not really worrying about mounds or bounces here. And really, this is, with a short iron in hand, this is one of those ones you just green light, you go straight at the flag here.
That's how you play the game, right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. 11 feet away. And with that birdie, moving into the top 5 on the leaderboard.
And we're starting to notice the name.
Well, here we are at the 11th. Frank, this is a brutally long par 4.
And a little bit blind, too. There's that big dune in the middle of the fairway, and it's sort of a bit daunting. You're not quite sure what's behind that. Well, what is behind that is actually fairway. And just carry it over there. That'll certainly shorten the hole up. And then from there, it's a little bit of a dogleg to the right.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
This is the second shot at the par 4. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Pretty good stroke right there, just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Settles in over the putt. Frank, a solid par right there, maintains his position. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th, Frank, seems to offer an opportunity for a player to do something pretty dramatic here.
Yeah, it's called the Narrows. Really, it should be called the Temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up the gauntlet?
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Oh my goodness, that is on in one. Wow, what an incredible shot. This is a cross-country special. Hit it. This is a putt for birdie from long range. Probably would be happy to get down in 2. So early on the backside here at the 12th hole, missed opportunity. So a tester from 4 feet. Still playing even for the day after the par. With just 6 holes left to play here at the U.S. Open, we arrive at the 13th. It's a dogleg par 4 to the right.
And in a U.S. Open, obviously 534 yards means if you make a mistake off the tee, the chances of making 4 here are minimal. So fairway first. It is one of the wider fairways on the golf course. You're still going to have a lengthy second shot, and you must avoid the bunker that guards the front of this green. Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Frank, quite a bit to consider here at the 13th.
Yeah, there's little knobs on the left and the right side of this green, so that bunker you can see, at first it looks like you've got to avoid it. Well, you've really just got to carry it.
Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, very impressive and on the move right now. Frank, a 5th consecutive par 4 here at the U.S. Open. This is the 14th hole, and I'm guessing by the time you set foot on this tee, you'll know exactly where your game is at.
Oh, this one here, great reward for someone that's driving the ball well. If you can drive it, down the left middle, avoid that little one-pot bunker in the middle of the fairway, you're going to certainly shorten this hole up. And then you can start to use the contours of this hole, too, that bend right to left. And 546 yards becomes much shorter than what you would think.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Pretty long putt right here. You'd be happy to get it to within 2-3 feet. That was not a very good read right there. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. So with that, the score is now at even par. .167 yards on this hole. It's the 15th at the U.S. Open. Nice little par 3.
Oh, fun hole. Well bunkered with that. Once again, a bunker on a dominant side of the green. This time the right side, and one little pokey bunker there on the left side. Green's big enough. A few little contours in this green. Magnificent view, of course, but it's fun to have a hole that's not overly long.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Either misjudged the win or simply just pulled the wrong club, Frank.
Going to take some skill now.
Wow, what a shot. Doesn't even need the putter. Now to the 16th hole here at Chambers Bay, and Frank, it is pretty short hole. What are the chances to come out of here with a birdie?
Well, you've just come off the short 15th. You can get on a little bit of a run here, providing you get into the fairway first. You're not going to have an overly long second shot here. But once again, this is a precision hole, a little bit like 15. This is a tabletop green, so you're going to have to be right on the money with that second shot.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Just 5 feet left. Still even par for the day. Just 2 holes left to play. Now a par 3, the 17th, 218 yards, and all sorts of trouble, Frank, down that right.
Well, if you weren't beached at the 16th, then there's a chance you can be derailed, which is what this hole's called, at 17. Difficult par 3. You can see the bunker there in front, and once again, wind conditions. This is going to probably require one of the best tee shots, especially in the closing stages of the U.S. Open. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Setting up for an approach shot here. Players bracing against these strong, gusty winds. Really a challenge out there. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
No, Rich, that was a huge putt. You don't expect to make them from that distance.
Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realise that Chambers Bay was designed as a walk-in golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be.
Second shot.
Frank, uphill shot, what did you like to do on a play like this?
The biggest thing really is to try and work on your balance. You've got to make sure you get through the shot and normally take an extra club.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man.
Sneaks that in. We're now tied.